Park Row and HarlequinAudio present The Bravest Voices, a memoir of two sisters' heroism during the Nazi era, by Ida Cook, read by Heather Wilds. Disclaimer. Ida Cook's memoir, The Bravest Voices, was originally published in 1950 under the title We Followed Our Stars. The publisher has preserved the original language of the author to accurately represent those times and modes of expression, and to stay true to her story. In addition to being a work of autobiographical non-fiction, it is also a primary source for an account of the Holocaust, and thus the memoir has been kept as it was written for the sake of historical record. Foreword. Romance is not just about love. It's about an attitude to life, and there is little more romantic than a profound faith in the possibility of all things. It could be a belief that when you kiss the ugly toad, he will turn into a handsome prince, just as much as a conviction that if you do the right thing, you can, against all the odds, save a life. What could be more romantic than helping people, strangers otherwise condemned to likely death, escape their own country and survive in a new one? For Ida and Louise Cook, the spirit of hope, the conviction that everything would come all right in the end, was the essence of life. It pervades the romantic novels written by Ida, but it also guided the daily existence of both sisters. No matter what evils they encountered in the world, what remained constant for them was hope. When I first discovered this remarkable book, it was the unshakable faith of Ida and Louise Cook that they could make a difference that hooked me immediately. It was the artless innocence of two young women flying to another country at a time when flying itself was dangerously new, defying that country's laws to help desperate people they did not know, that made such a profound impression. I was moved by the sisters' certainty, so rare today in a world where moral equivalence hold sway, that they knew without any ambiguity a clear difference between right and wrong. Ida and Louise Cook were born at the beginning of the last century. Louise, quieter and more intellectual, in Dorking, Surrey, in 1901. Ida, naturally garrulous, 3 years later in 1904, in Sunderland, northeast England, where their father, a customs and excise officer, was posted. Both came to maturity during the harrowing years of World War I, a war that wiped out almost a generation of young men in England. Two ordinary women who lived in extraordinary times. In the pages that follow, there are innumerable examples of their pluck, to use an almost forgotten contemporary word. How Louise would leave her drab civil service office on a Friday evening, dash to Croydon Airport for the last plane to Cologne, then the night train to Munich, where they would, with luck — Ida often credits things going right to good luck, too modest to recognize it is hard work instead — arrive for breakfast on Saturday morning. Minor inconveniences such as toothache and overdrafts were ignored. They spent so much of their own money on these rescue missions that Ida admits toward the end of the book that she was in significant debt. Money was never one of their gods. They made their own clothes, travelled third class, and, even when Ida, known as Mary Burchell, became one of Mills and Boon's best-selling authors, earning almost £1,000 a year from her novels, they still sat in the gallery rather than the stalls of their beloved Covent Garden. "We spent thousands in our imagination," she wrote when her advance for 2 books was a mere £30. By the time she was earning thousands, she had other ideas. The problem they were confronting was that the British government, since the Nazi seizure of power in 1933, when Jews had been gradually stripped of all rights, had allowed very few Jewish refugees to flee to Britain, and then only a
Sample complete. Ready to continue?